Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader, and a very warm welcome despite a pretty miserable cold day out there and it's already going dark. And I would very, very much like to start to see some sunshine. I think it would be very, very nice. But lovely to see you all because it brightens me up. It means that there is a world out there. There are people. Hello, everybody. Lovely to have you. Right. We're going to do something a little bit different. And I've purposefully been a little bit ambiguous with my promotion of this. And I think everybody has got a good idea what they think I'm going to do, but I'm probably going to shock you what I am going to do, okay? Because I think some of you are going to think I'm going to start telling you, well, you need to go to this person and you need to go to that person for help, because this is all about where's my support, okay? So I'm going to start this off and say to you, where's my support? Where's my support? I haven't spoken to my upline in regards to any support for donkey's years. We talk about things like organising events. And then I've only got two people as an upline. I've got Rob Barras and then I've got Steve Critchley. It just happened that way. Believe me, Mr. Critchley does not want me ringing him up and asking me about broadband questions and how do I get customers and how do I recruit. He has, believe me, he does not want this. Okay. So where do I go? So I think actually I'm quite a good person to help you here because from the day I started, and the day I started, I didn't do very much, as you all know, one customer a month for 2 years. Absolutely true. Do not copy that. That is not a business. That is a hobby. Okay. But when I got going, when I made a decision, everyone got that one. When I made a decision to actually make this thing work, my idea was I guess I ought to speak to as many successful people as possible. Now, can I just say to you in those days, never mind Zoom, Google didn't even exist. It was Ask Jeeves. Anybody here remember Ask Jeeves? There was nobody to ask. We had a phone. We had a phone, not even what you call a smartphone. It made and received calls, and I think it did text, and it gave you the day, the date, and that was about it. So what did we do? We had something called the extranet, which if I showed you it, you would laugh because it didn't really actually do that much. And I know that there's some people smiling here. Certainly Mr. Henderson here will remember lots of this. But we did a lot of picking up the phone and asking people. So who did I ask? Well, in those days, um, phone a friend was six people. One of them was dear Barbara Llewellyn. Okay, still here with us. Um, if I didn't know something, I asked. What else did I do? Well, I went to what was you would know as a buzz, and it was called a career opportunity presentation. And most of us didn't just turn up on the time it started. We got there early because what we were out to do was pick successful people's brains. And did I just go to the local one? Well, when I got going, there wasn't a local one. You'd say that's not local. It was classed as local. The nearest was a place called Lyndhurst in the forest, which for me here is about 40 miles. Okay. Then it actually went further away. It went to Southampton. But hey, that's what you did. Do you know what? I also went to others. I went to one in Surrey. It was in a scout's hut in Cobham. But I went there because that's where the what we call the makers and shakers were, the people that really were doing stuff. So that would have been someone like Steve Critchley, Wes Linden, Robin Brooks would be coming in from Wales. People came in from all over the country because we didn't have this. And I don't think there was even things, I don't think there was even things like um what would you call them? Three-way community calls? Don't think any of that existed if I remember. No, so you actually just got in your car and you drove and you thought nothing of it. It got better, obviously. There was more people, but in addition to that, we did have something called the extranet, which actually gave us as near as up-to-date information as perhaps we needed to know. But now there is masses. There's WhatsApp group chats where you can ask questions, and usually somebody's there ready and willing to give you an answer. We've got phone a friend. At group leader and above, we've got a thing called the partner relationship team that are absolutely amazing. You've got upline people that even if you ask them, if they don't know, they know who to go to get an answer. So everything is much, much faster. So there is an awful lot of stuff that you can get your hands on. But I'm going to show you around something that maybe some of you have never done. I might be shot down, but I'm gonna share my screen and I'm going to take you to something called the Partner Portal, which is absolutely magnificent. And I really do mean that. There is a search here that's getting better. You can type something in and you can find it. Now, look, one of the things I'm going to do in front of you is I'm going to show you something that I want you to do because I'm sure some of you have never done this. I want you to click search, right? You write this down, and then I want you to type in. Oh, helps if you do it right, doesn't it? If you help it on it. Compensation, right? Compensation. And when you do that, what comes up is the wording. Now, the yellow wording is what we're after. So we click that, and quite a few things come up. A partner success guide. I'm really going to compel you to click on these things and have a look. But the one I really want you to click on is this, the opportunity booklet. And it is constantly updated. And it is just a wealth. I'm going to make it big so you can see. It's a wealth of information. Everything that possibly you'd want to know is almost in here about how we get paid, what we're about, what goes on. It's all there, guys. Everything. I get asked so many questions, and everything that I get asked is in here. All right. So this is really important to you, okay? About how you build your business, your structure. It's all there's loads of stuff here. All right. So a really good thing to make a note of. But I would say to you, do have a look at things like the Partner Success Guide and guidelines for UW partners, all good stuff. Okay, so if we go back to the dashboard, that was the search. But now I'm going to show you some other things. So what would be your first port of call? Well, if you go to live training and events, now believe me, I have said to James Tomlinson and all of them on numerous occasions, along with every other SGL, please, can they kind of make this a bit easier? Because what's happened is all the buzzes are first, and then sort of like in the middle of it, there is insights, be a better mentor. Now, guys, if you have even just one partner, right, and you've got more than 6 customers, you're allowed to be a mentor. So I would suggest to you, if you've never been on this course, let's click it. These are all free. And here we are. The next one coming up, woohoo, is this Sunday, the 26th of Jan. It's 10:30 to 11. So only half an hour of your time. It's free. Come on. Why not? Book it. Book it. Absolutely. Have a look. Watch. Sit there, watch and learn, all right, from very, very successful people, people that really know what they're doing. Okay. Now, let's carry on down because there are 9 training courses and these are absolutely free. So, if we carry on down past all these buzzes, okay, here we go. We've got really recommended getting multi-service customers. Okay. You can view the dates and the locations. Well, it's a joke. It's not location, it's virtual. You sit at the end of your laptop or even your phone and watch. I would say that's for everybody. And even if you're further down the line, I regularly watch these because I do know how to get multi-service customers, but every so often you just kind of like your brain parks things, and these kind of all of a sudden give you a reminder and you think, oh, I forgot all about that. And it's absolutely brilliant because it will bring it to the forefront of your mind. Also, the other reason I do them is, how can I recommend this if I don't know what's on them? I can't be a leader without knowing this stuff. So that's really important as well. Now, I suggest if you are, for example, a QD star, or a future team leader, I wouldn't suggest getting to STL. In fact, I believe at FTL level, that's black. All right, it doesn't allow you to. But I would say if you're there, future team leader, you need to get this one. Now, guys, as I've just said previously, if you are above all this, do you know what? You need to regularly update yourself because there is still valuable information in these. All right, really. I mean, I've booked myself on an STL one because I want to see what my team are getting. I think that's really important. The very first training that anyone should ever book, and in fact, when you recruit someone, I do this for them. I actually tell them this is their first training and I book it for them immediately. And the first one coming up is Saturday, the 25th. It's 10 to 11. It's 1 hour. All right. Every single person needs to be on this. They really, really do. Doesn't matter how much one-to-one coaching they're getting from team, they need to be on this because many heads are better than one. Okay, now there's different ones going on. So there we are. I don't believe they can say, oh, I can't make it. Top tip that Mr. Critchley gave me. You will have heard me say this so many times. Okay, hang on a minute. I've gone. Let me go back. If I was to hand a new partner and say to them, right, this is the launch your business. It's this Saturday. It's 10 to 11. And they turn around to me and they say, oh, I can't make that. I say, oh, what are you doing that day that can't be put off? Great question. And usually it's nothing none too serious. But I will tell you this. Say they've even got a shift at work. Supposing you said to them, oh, well, if you show for this 1 hour training, you'll be sent £1,000 in the post. I wonder how many of them would turn up for it. Would you say all of them? I think so somehow. Interestingly, they've still got all the same situation in place, but it's just all of a sudden their mindset has changed, like, oh, £1,000. What they don't realise is the information they're giving them is going to help them earn that thousand pound really well. Okay. So you've got to help people change their mindset because people are very negative and they have a lot of self-limiting beliefs. Yeah. The glass needs to be half empty, not half full. I mean, half empty, half full, not half empty. All right. Really important. So look, guys, effective recruiting. I'd say that's everybody should do that. If you haven't done any of these, oh my God, please, please, please get on and book these. There are 9 trainings. They're absolutely free. Why would you not take them? In fact, view it this way. When you're learning to drive, Do you not make an absolute astounding effort to listen to that instructor to do so you can pass that test quicker? Yes, you do. So why wouldn't you grab this with both hands? Okay. So that's an insight. The other thing I do with a brand new partner is I absolutely show them and tell them about Power Up. Really vital. Now's the time to do it. It's not ages away. Believe me, all the accommodation's going to be fully booked, and some people coming from a distance will really need this. This is absolutely important. And in fact, I'm just going to say to you all, you know, we're called independent distributors. There's a real clue in the word independent. There's an awful lot that we're able to do for ourselves, but there's support there from all kinds of people when we click on these links and take up on it. I don't, I am absolutely sure that lots of people do not even look at this stuff. And yet you wouldn't do a job without learning all the instruction. You would make sure that you did it. Okay. So look, I'm going to come out of there now, and I'm going to very quickly now go into what's called the learning portal. Now, I could spend hours in here because this company has really helped us. And there is an amazing A to Z. And I can tell you that W, X, Y, and Z, there's nothing in them. Okay. So in fact, there's not as many as it looks. But what's really important? What really matters? What's the stuff that's really going to really help? So if you go to G, this particular section, getting appointments. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to click on that in a minute because I want to see you all. And I'm going to say this. There is no business with UW without getting appointments. It is the number one thing. And if that's the thing you don't like doing, do you know what? You haven't got a business. Can I say that sorting your desk out is not working? Getting rid of old 20k giveaway forms and getting new ones and all, that's not working. That's admin. That's not rainmaker stuff. What matters is picking up the phone, contacting people, and making appointments. That is our business. And if we're going to be Joe Blunt, the hardest part of our business is getting appointments. Who agrees? When we're in the door, and that can be metaphorically through Zoom, okay, it's totally different because we're then going to do our show business and we're going to show them. So they get the facts and information so they can make a proper informed decision. The hardest part is getting in the door because they don't know what they're missing. And it's very easy for people to dismiss something before they know what they're dismissing. People are constantly working on assumptions, but there's so much they don't know, and they make these assumptions without that knowledge, which is a great pity. Because I know that when I get people in front of me and then they see everything, you almost see that, oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I say. Today I did a support, okay? And I could tell by the it was a Zoom. You know when somebody's like that, it's what I call closed shop. It's the old police stuff that I learned. And I thought this is going to be hard. But as time went through the appointment and I was doing the presentation and I try to make it more of a conversation than a presentation, okay, with all the stuff, showing my own bill so they can see. The whole body language changed completely. No assumptions were made. The screens were red, and we get to the last screen and it says, well, as it says here, what do you want to look at first? Perhaps saving as a customer, maybe earning as a partner, or both. And then you shut up. And what happens is surprise. How many people will go, ooh, Wouldn't mind being a customer. Wouldn't mind looking at it. Okay. Never an assumption that you were going to. So then you have to ask, have you got another 15 minutes or so to be able to do a comparison? But what I'm saying is, had that person had what I call loads of information beforehand, but with not the vital information, they'd have probably made all sorts of assumptions because they've based it on what they know already in life. You know, when somebody has, for example, they've they've already got, for example, Virgin. Okay. Now we all know Virgin is mega expensive, and we all know it's not about speed that makes it good. There's a lot of factors involved with broadband, but the marketing with Virgin is set up for people to believe it's all about that. Now, the interesting thing about being on Zoom in this instance is here's me with my 11 megabits per second, living in the outback, okay, and it all works. And that always sort of surprises them. And then you're showing them this £400 to help them switch. Then you're explaining about the cashback card and how you could eliminate the price altogether and how they don't actually need 700 or 900 megs to make this thing work. That actually the average 32 is going to service a house perfectly. And all of a sudden, the showing dissipates. But the hard bit is getting them to that appointment, isn't it? So that's where we've got to concentrate our efforts on learning. So let's go back and let's click getting appointments. And absolutely, there is loads of stuff here. All the things that matter. Don't shortchange this. Don't treat this lightly. This stuff that's in here is really, really good. It is absolutely amazing. There's everything. There's so much. When you start clicking on each one, it opens up. It opens up. There are podcasts. There are all kinds of things that help. And this is the stuff that we really, really need. Okay. If I go back to where I was, which was there. If I go to P, podcasts and power sessions, really good stuff. Look, using the phone. Podcasts, there's loads of them. Do you know what I really like about the podcast? This is kind of a new experience over the last few years for me because I'm very much a reader, but I've learned to be a little bit more multi-skilled. And when I go out for my walk, I now am able to listen to this stuff while I'm doing my exercise. Do you know what, guys? You know, when you're putting out those neighbour letters, how cool. You could have a couple of little earpieces, couldn't you? And as well as putting the letters out, you could actually be listening and learning. How clever is that? This is really, really good stuff. Some of the dates look old, but it's still relevant. It's absolutely relevant. Okay. There is so much here for you to learn from. Now, I am going to say to you that the getting of the appointments is absolutely, hang on, let me just get rid of all this stuff. There we go. Just done that one and we've done that one. Right. Now let's go back again. And you're probably thinking, why she missed out A? Well, there's running an appointment and there's an appointment presentation, but that stuff we're kind of doing all the time, aren't we? Yeah. Law of averages is good to look at. B, broadband services. Do you know what? This is basic stuff. The most important thing is getting the appointment. And I'll tell you why, because even if you've been in a while and you haven't managed to get perhaps a customer for a while, you've got so many people to help you. Why not take up on some support until you've got yourself back in the flow? And I know some people are really sensible. I've had senior team leaders ask me, Lisa, would you support me? I just want to see what you do. Okay. Now, there is lots of other people that are in our business that are doing all the time. And a bit like going to the gym, the more you go, the easier it gets. And you feel more fluid. And the more you do something, the more confident you get. So if perhaps it's been a bit, you feel a bit, excuse me, rusty, call on some help from somebody because we can actually mentor across anywhere in the network. I can actually mentor anyone. If if another, they probably wouldn't, but if another SGL asked me and said, "Oh, Lisa, can I come and watch one of your appointments, or could you sit in on one of mine?" Well, yeah, of course not. Why not? Yeah, because I think we can all learn from each other all the time. Yeah. So, guys, that's kind of a very short précis about, spend some time. When you go to sit down and perhaps click on Facebook and mess around or go on mainstream TV, which is never going to thrill you. It's only ever going to depress you, isn't it? Yeah. Why not say to yourself, I'll tell you what, why don't I actually have a look at my partner portal? Because there's loads of stuff in there. And there's masses I could learn. And in fact, do you know what would be a really good idea? You could get your diary now and you could look at it, even if it was not till next week, and block out an hour and put in there PP. Nobody knows what that is but you. And that is, do you know what? Why not start going to your partner portal and picking up information? Block the time out, treat it seriously like an appointment. Best time to do it may not be for you, but I'm at my freshest the moment I wake up in the morning. And that's why those in my team, I know you think I'm a nutter and you see all this recognition going on at 6 a.m., but it's because I wake up and at that point, I'm like, zippy, yeah, I'm ready to go. And my brain's had a nice rest. And that's my good time. I couldn't start doing this at 10 o'clock at night because my brain's now gone into like hopeless. So find the time that's good, block it out, stun your phone, and have a good go and get some stuff together. Now, unmute yourselves. I want to know, anyone got any burning questions? Anything there you'd like to ask? Anyone? Yes. Lindsay, unmute.
Can you hear me? Good. One question, nothing about what you've presented, but do you know why Marks and Spencer are no longer a cashback card partner?
I wouldn't spend much time on that.
Okay.
Because yeah, I like S too, but I'm still going to get 10. But
Yeah.
I
Mm.
think possibly they feel that maybe we haven't managed to get more customers to them by
Mm.
the the hook of
Mm.
cashback. That's the only thing I can come up with. I wouldn't say is that they're hacked off with UW at all.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Anything about this, guys?
Lisa, I yesterday had an appointment and I was nervous about it, and there was no need for me to be nervous about it, but I actually did one of the trainings. I went back onto the partner portal and I watched, and I can't remember the lovely lady's name, but she did the presentation of the presentation. So she took me through the slides, and it's been, I mean, I try and do an appointment once a week. I try to somebody, whoever it is, and that's gone down. But I now know I need to practice again, and I need to practice again. And no, the appointment didn't work out the way I wanted it to for all sorts of reasons. And namely, she'd gone with British Gas, and I left it too late. So I've got my list here. I know I've got to make phone calls, and I keep putting them off. But I've got to practice, because everything you have said there, I've got the partner portal there, I've got a couple of days. I need to practice, and the more practice I get, the more confident I get. And that's, I think, the key thing is I've got to get my confidence back in doing them.
Okay.
So thank you, because I know what I need to do, but it's always good to hear it.
Yeah, and also that there are absolutely some super key things about the right way to pick up the phone. You know that
Yes.
there's telephone skills workshop, but does anyone here, do you belong to Big Al, Tom Schreiter? Get his top tips.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we get his emails.
Oh my gosh, this man is just an absolute gem of free information. He is so clever at giving us one-liners, especially about that first introduction. You can sign up to Big Al and it's absolutely free. They come in. I've set up a folder in my emailing and I put them in there. And then I have these odd moments when I'm sat down, feet up, And it's usually when the other half can't help himself and he's got to watch Arsenal playing. Ugh. I kind of switch off to that. And I think, oh, do you know what? I'll sit on my phone and I go on things like Big Al's Top Tips and I have a look at stuff because it's just valuable and it helps. Yeah. And we don't get rusty. Anyone else want to ask something? No? Was that helpful though? Was that kind of like, yeah, probably not maybe what you thought you were going to get from me. I'm going to talk about structure next week, but I just thought this is such an important thing. We're right at the start of a year, although we're already 3 weeks in. Can't believe it's 3 weeks. Here's a question. Have you got your 4 points for your free energy club? Anybody on here got them? All of them? Right, I'm one short at the moment. Okay, now I'm one of the I forgot what they called us because I've got free energy and I've got my bill. It's absolutely stunning. If anybody wants to see it,
club.
I am.
Club.
I'm a fecker.
Yeah.
I'm a fecker. And in fact, it's wiped out the entire bill. And in fact, £67 is going in my bank account. So for
crazy.
using utility warehouse services, they're now paying me.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good recruiting tool?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, guys, I hope that information was helpful. It's a little bit of, come on, knuckle down, do a few things, but it will really help you. All right. And the more you learn, the more confident you get. Yes, Fran, I can see
I'll
that.
just ask a question. You mentioned on the portal when you go through the different training events that some of them are blacked out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming when you get to the next step, then it unblacks them and then you can go on further.
Yeah.
So you're only available to go to the next steps on the getting to whatever, the one up from where you are.
And not necessarily. It's like for a long time they blacked out for me TL and STL, and then a few of us SGL said, "Why are you blacking that out?" Because I want to know what my team are getting. I want to know the up-to-date information. How can I possibly recommend this if I don't know what's on it?
True. Very true.
Right.
Yeah. Guys, we better go, otherwise we'll be told we're overrunning. Lovely to see you all. See you next week, same time. Lovely to be with you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Lisa, bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.